Right. And I'm joined by Christine Khamasi, who runs Days for Girls. And karibu sana, Christine, to East Squared. And thank you for honoring our invite. So welcome. All right. As we start, and please hold your mic up close so that we can hear you. Before we even get to this conversation, maybe you can start by giving us a proper introduction of who you are and what Days for Girls is.
My name is Christine Khamasi. Days for Girls is an organization that make washable pads. So when we say Days for Girls, it means more days for girls to have more days of dignity, more days of confidence in school, and more days of enjoying the journey of menstruation.
I love that. Days for girls. So more days for making sure that you have a wholesome girl during the days that they are experiencing menstruation. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. How long have you been running Days for Girls?
This is my 7th year since I started. So this is my 7th year.
7 years. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And what prompted you to start this organization?
What prompted me to start this organization in Nairobi is because of the menstrual shame I faced when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. I faced a lot of shame. I faced a lot of challenges. Yeah. And when I got an opportunity to go to Days for Girls University, I was like, this is what I want. Mm-hmm. I don't want any other girl to go through what I went. Yeah. Because overcoming the shame of menstruation was really, really bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is what made me do.
Do you mind sharing, taking us back to those days, as in that shame, or what experience, what happened to you, so that we can also, educate these girls. They hear, yes, there's so much shame, there are so many challenges, but the more we talk about this, our personal experiences, the more someone who is at home is watching and they're like, wow, so this also happened to other people. So I don't know if you're willing to explain, to share with us that story, your experience.
Sure. Growing up, my mother left me when I was only 5 years, so I had to grow up with my father. And at some point, my father got married, and I started living with my grandmother. So at some point, I had to go back to stay with my mother, my stepmother, and my father. And for me, menstruation started when I was only 9 years. 9 years, I was too young. That's at school, we had not been educated about it. Yeah. And at home, the taboos, the cultures, you don't talk about menstruation in public. Mm-hmm. So it was a great challenge because when it started, I was in school, and I was just asked to go home and prepare myself. But nobody took me through the journey like, this is what is happening to your body, this is what you are supposed to go. I was just told to go home and prepare. So when I went home and my mother looked at me, and I was messy, my cloth was messed with blood, and she just looked at me and said, why are you home? And I said, the teacher said I come and prepare myself. And she just looked at me and she laughed. And she was like, so you have started playing with boys. So for her, it meant that I was raped. And to me, I didn't know what was happening, and I was scared. Because growing up and being abandoned by my parents, I didn't even own a panty as a girl. I didn't have that luxury. So I thought maybe I was going around the bush to help myself, and maybe I was bitten by a snake or something had happened to me, so it was really bad. So the first 3 days of menstruation was a big challenge. I was in fear. I was in worried. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if I was sick or snake had bitten me, and it was really hard to express because nobody was saying anything about it. Yeah. So I didn't have anything to manage my period. I didn't even own a panty, leave alone having the pad. Mm-hmm. Because even if I had the pad, how would I use it if I don't have a panty? Yeah. So after some time, I had to steal my father's innerwear so that I would use it, and it was wash and wear, so that at least I would have something. I used leaves, they were not helping. I used cow dung, it was not helping. I got a lot of infection from these. And remember, I was only 9 years old. Mm-hmm. So after 3 months, I went and visited my grandmother and told her what was happening to me. And she was like, now that you are seeing blood coming, you should not play with the snakes. And I was like, now how do I play with the snakes? Did I play with, did I got bitten by snakes? That's why I'm I'm having blood. So later on, I realized that she was meaning, now you are a grown-up girl. If you play with boys, they are going to impregnate you. But it just came later on when I was realizing this.
Yeah.
So not having something to manage my period was a big shame for me. I couldn't play with other girls.
Yeah.
I faced a lot of challenges. I was that one girl who is always messy. Like I would smell so bad.
Mm-hmm.
It is something I wouldn't want any other girl to go through.
Oh God, and I don't think you will even wish it on your enemy. That is such a traumatizing experience that you had to go through. Pole about that. How was this is crazy? How was cow dung supposed to help? Like how do you even go about this cow dung? You've mentioned cow dung.
Yes.
You tried cow dung. How did?
Just the desperation. Because growing up, I was an abandoned child.
So you were just trying
something that I can just put there so that it can just observe the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that is such a traumatizing experience. Sorry for that. And wow, definitely I am lost for words because we talk about people going through experiences and, you hear, I had to do ABC, I had to do this, but wow, going through that at 9 years old, that is harrowing. And I'm so glad that you have used that pain to help other girls not go through such an experience. Take us through, like, the first time you decided, no, this is what I'm going to do for these girls. How did you even begin this organization from scratch, or did you have help from donors, or how did you come about the Days for Girls?
So I faced these challenges until when I reached around 13 to 14 years, I came to Nairobi. I started living in the street family of Madare. From there, I got somebody who sympathized with my situation, and they took me in, and they gave me a home. And still, I faced this shame because as a woman, I could not go out there and work when I have my period. It was a blockage.
I didn't stay home.
Yeah, I would stay home because I used to work like going to people's house, washing their clothes in exchange of money. Yeah. But when I have my period, I don't have the freedom to do that. So it was still a challenge. Yeah. I got married. My husband never bought me pads. It was still a challenge. So one day I was in church and the pastor told me, like, Christine, we have guests who are coming and I would like you to be part of it because now I was learning how to do the sewing. Yeah. So I went and I met this woman and she was like, I'm here to train you how to sew. And she didn't know anything about sewing. They're so used to their kind of machine and we are used to our pedaling machine. I was like, you are not understanding anything. Yeah. So from there, because now the sewing part was not working, she doesn't know anything. So she started like, Christine, can you tell me growing up, like what was it like with your menstruation? Yeah. Can you tell me something about that? And I started talking to her about it. So I didn't know that back in the US, she was doing Days for Girls. She was working with Days for Girls chapter. Okay. So when she went back, she went and organized and they fundraised money. And that is when she said, like, I'm sending you to Days for Girls University in Uganda. And I was like, please don't say Days for Girls University because I don't have any qualification to join the university. Yeah. And she was like, so what do? I said, I don't know, but anytime you mention the word university, it scares me. I don't want to go to Uganda to embarrass myself. Yeah. So she said, okay, I'm going to think about it. So they talked, and then she was like, now the university has accepted you without any certificates. And I agreed to go. And I said, please, if you're sending me to Uganda, don't allow them to give me any work concerning writing and reading because I'm not good in that. Yeah. If they're going to give me a pair of scissors, a fabric, and a sewing machine, I'm good with that. Yeah. But no books. And she said, okay. I went to Uganda, and in the morning, Dorcas comes and say, your session is ready. You are supposed to be in class. And I said, in class? Please, no. Not now. Yeah. And she was like, that is the requirement. So that is when I went to Uganda. I stayed there for 2 weeks. And when I came back, I was so passionate about it. So I started an enterprise in Butere. Yeah. I started an enterprise in Masai Mara. And then I came and started my enterprise now in Nairobi. I didn't have money, but I had the few kits that I was given for the 3 enterprises.
Yeah.
But now when I came to Nairobi, it was a big challenge because now I had to fund it, and people were not embracing the washable pad.
Yeah.
Like you talk about somebody to people about your ideas, and they will go like, no, washable, no.
Yeah.
How is it even going to work? And I was so passionate because I had known that this is the solution to our girls.
Exactly.
This is what is going to make the change. But nobody was ready to embrace it and support me through it.
Yeah.
So I had to ask 5 of my girls if each of them could give me 20,000, and they were able to do that, and that is how I started my business. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Hey, congratulations. I mean, you have walked an interesting journey. The campus that you mentioned, it's in Uganda. They only take you for technical skills, or it's a full-fledged university where people study full-time as well?
No, it is just for washable pad. It's just called Days for Girls University.
Yeah.
So for me, that is what I thought. But when I went there, I learned that they just teach you about menstrual hygiene and everything and training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so they give you the technical skills on how to make reusable towels, and that's it.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
No, Namaliza. Oh, nice. Amazing. You have mentioned you have 3 enterprises, the Butere, and then Nairobi and
Masai Mara.
Masai Mara. How have those done so far? And especially the Masai Mara one, I will want to know, because the Masai culture also affects a lot of their beliefs when it comes to menstruation. So how has that been taken in, accepted by that region especially?
So what actually happened I'll start with the Butere in Western Kenya. The community took it up, so they are doing it. I think it is doing well because I couldn't be able to manage the 3, so I let them to focus on that. It's doing well. I usually visit them. The Masai Mara community, it was good, though it was in a school, and being from a different culture, they couldn't allow me to do there, but now I released it to the community and they are working on it. And it's doing great. I usually visit it once in a while when I go there, but I've let them do it according to their cultures and everything.
Okay.
But now my focus is on my enterprise in Nairobi.
In Nairobi. Tell us about the impact that you have noticed from the girls that you have helped with these skills, and also by donating these washable pads to them.
The impact is great, and it is big, and it is amazing. Because for the girls who are in school, they have regained their dignity back. They have confidence. Their grades have shifted because now they don't feel the shame. They don't feel like, oh, those kind of things. Like now when they walk with their shoulders high because they don't have to think about that picky guy who gave her 200 shillings to buy the pads. Now they walk with dignity. They feel so good. They have more days in school. And for sure, those who are using our pads have really changed their everything about their lives.
Yeah.
And it has also changed for the girls who never got an opportunity to stay in school. Now they have a place where they work and earn their own money.
Okay, within the organization.
Yes.
Oh, nice. I saw in the clip that we played before that you normally hand out kits, the Days for Girls kits. What is usually in that kit?
What is usually in the kit, we have 2 panties, because for me, I never had panties.
Yeah.
So if I think about the girl who went through what I went through, I think of having at least 2 panties.
Yeah.
We put in a soap so that you can have something to wash it.
Yeah.
It's not that it is going to last 3 years, but at least something to start up with. And then it have 8 liners, and it have 2 shields. It have a transport bag, what she will use for carrying whatever she has used.
Yeah.
And then it has a bag with a Days for Girls sticker on it.
Yeah.
So every time she has a period, she remembers, oh, it is that day when I have to have more days in school.
Yeah.
It's that day when I have to walk with confidence. So it makes the girl feel so proud of herself.
Yeah, very, very proud. An amazing job that you are doing. I have a question. Do you also train them on how to use the pads and about their hygiene as you're doing the distribution to the girls? Do you train them on how to take care of themselves during their menstrual period? Do you, how to manage the pads themselves, washing? Do you hide them under the bed? Do you hang them outside? What do you do with them after you've finished with them? Do you normally take them through those trainings?
In fact, if you're buying pads from me, I will not allow you to buy the pads if I'm not going to do the training, because that is what makes it even important. Because if you just take the pad to the girl and you are not going to tell them how to wash it, how to use it, and how to keep it safe, then you are not doing anything. So if you are buying the pads from me and you are not an ambassador from Days for Girls, or you don't know how it is working, I'm not going to sell it to you. I have to go and do the training, because I have to connect with these girls. I have to tell them how this pad is going to impact them. Because I'm not just going to tell them like, I'm giving you this pad because you are poor or because you can't afford that. I have to tell them that this pad is going to give you 3 to 4 years of having dignity, freedom and everything. I'm giving you this pad because you are a smart girl and you have to make smart choices. I have to go and tell them like the reason why they need to use this pad. It's not like I just give you and say like, you go, I've already have the money. I have to take them through. And I also have to tell them about the journey of puberty, that your body is taking this course and it is beautiful. Menstruation is not dirty. It's only that you didn't have something nice to manage your period. So I have to do the training on how they are going to use it.
And using, sorry for cutting you, and even using the language that they need to understand, not the way you were told that it's snakes. So you're wondering, what are snakes? You didn't know what your grandmother was talking about. You didn't know what the community was talking about. So using even the language that they understand, like if this is what is happening to you, it's not a snake. And when you start menstruating, you know, you need to take care of yourself, because also you can fall pregnant at any time, you see. I mean, having these conversations, I'm sure they are really impacting the girls. I mean, you've talked about that impact, and we love to see what you have done. I wish you carried one of the reusable towels. Do you have them?
Yes, I have.
I would love to see how they are used, like the sheets, and you've talked about the liners. Maybe you can do a small demonstration for probably someone who has never seen a reusable pad. I can hold this for you.
This is a pod. This is not a full kit. This is what we call a pod. So this is the shield. This is the pocket. So this reminds you that it is not going to fall. And then these are the snaps. Like when you put on your pad, you are sure it is not going to fall. So this is our liner. This is how it looks like. It's beautiful. It has Days for Girls. So every time you see it, it reminds you, oh, it's that beautiful day when I'm a healthy woman. And then, as you can see, this plain, and then we have these hot spots. So when you fold it like this, you have 6 layers. And the material is made out of pure cotton flannel. And it is very soft and very friendly to the body. Yeah. So it looks like a handkerchief. Like even if a boy visited at my home and find it, they'll think, oh, that is a handkerchief. So we are trying to shatter the stigma around the pads. So even if it is washable, it looks really beautiful. And then when you fold it like that, you just put it like that in the pocket. So when you put it in the pocket, you put it now on your panty, like that. So when they hear that, they are very confident because they know the pocket will hold it,
and the
snaps
snapping
will hold it, and it is really beautiful.
It's always going to be in place.
Yes.
Okay.
And fold it like that. You'll just fold this because this is a pod. So when you fold it like that, it stays in your purse. So even if you come into my bucket, you'll never know what this is. My pad.
Nice. Amazing. Okay. I actually love the design of it, and the colors that you have used, they are so, you know, they are appealing. They are beautiful. They are not something that you'll want to hide under the bed or, yeah, look at that. Very beautiful. What is inside this? You've said that it has fabric. It has layers inside, yeah? What is inside this fabric to make sure that it doesn't leak?
So for this, it is just the flannel, pure flannel, and it is made like this so that even if you hang it on the sun, it is going to dry very fast.
Yeah.
And for this, it has this. This is the UPUL. This one is the one that protects it from leaking to your dress.
Okay.
So this one.
All
the
right.
shield, yes.
Okay, so I don't know whether my cameraman can catch this. I think they can. So this is you've called it what, the fabric?
Shield.
The shield. This is the shield that is stops the leakage. And yeah, I am totally loving. So you fold it in 3 and put it inside the pouch and you are good to go. And you have your reusable towel. So when we talk about washing, how do we go about cleaning them? Do you clean with hot water, cold water, warm water?
You just clean it with cold water because if you clean it with hot water and it is blood, it is going to clot and it's not going to come out well. You just clean it with any soap.
Yeah.
Any soap. What we would not recommend is the jig and those kind of things because it is going to make it fade.
Yeah.
But you don't clean it with hot water, just normal water and with any type of soap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What of when they are, after they have used this, you've said that they can lock it the way it folds into a pouch, yeah? I'm worried about, what if I'm those people who are worried about, okay, I've already used it. How do I put it in my bag? Is it going to smell the whole day when I'm in school before I get home? Yeah, so, I mean, that's a concern that I would have if probably I'm in school. I'm thinking, okay, I've changed this at lunchtime. Do I put it in my bag? Is it going to smell?
So that should not worry you because we always have a transport bag. Okay. I didn't bring it here, but we have a transport bag. It is made out of raincoat material. So whatever you have used, you'll just put it inside here. It is a small pouch like that. So you'll just put whatever you have used, you'll just put it inside here. So in the bag, because we have a bigger bag, which has, it is big enough to hold 8 liners, shield, a towel, and everything. So whatever you have used when you are in school, you are able to put it in your transport bag. So inside the bag, you are the only one who knows that whatever is in the transport, I've already used. Whatever in this bag, I've not used it. And the bag is inside your school bag. And also, we also have a towel in the bag. So the towel, you'll just use it in case my period starts now. I'll just take a soap and wash my towel clean, and then I'll wipe myself. And then I'll take one of the panties and I'll just put it on, and I'm ready to have more days in school.
In school.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies, we are only changing, this is the only thing that you remove, put it inside here, and you put another reusable towel inside here and snap it back, and you are good to go. Wow, I love this. I love the fabric. I love the colors. They are so, friendly to, we love color. So that's definitely, it's a hit. It's a hit with me. I love them.
Girls are beautiful and they want beautiful things.
We love beautiful things. We want to feel like princesses. I mean, we all want those fairy tale stories, but I totally love what you're doing. So if I were to buy this, how much is it?
If you are to buy that, it will cost you 1,000 shillings.
Okay.
Yeah, because it comes with 8 liners, 2 shield, a piece of soap, a towel, instruction, and a bag.
8 of these.
8 of these. 8 of these and 2 of these.
2 of these.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And that should last someone for
3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years. 1,000 bob is a good deal. A very, very good deal, because this is something that's reusable, ladies. You don't have to keep buying the disposable pads for, I think it's 80 bob now for a packet. Yeah, this will help. This is actually a very good deal. 1,000 bob for this will keep so many girls in school. So if you're watching as well and you would also like to donate to a worthy cause, here you go. There are people who are doing an amazing job sending girls to school and keeping them there for days. So let me get back to your questions. Let me see whether you have any questions on YouTube. But what do you think about, as I keep looking for the comments, what do you think about the way we have made menstrual health, menstrual hygiene a girl's issue? Is it something that we should keep it as within us women, or should men also chime into this conversation?
I think it is a high time that men should get into it, and they should be part of it, because most of them, they are ignorant about it, and they also want to support the girls, but they don't know how. So once we break the silence around taboos that men should not know about this, the more we are making them ignorant. But we should incorporate men into this.
Yeah. And do you go to primary schools, high schools to have talks with girls about this?
I go to both primary school, high school, even colleges,
Yeah.
even churches, because I have to create an awareness about this.
Okay. And when you're having these talks, do you also incorporate the boys in these conversations? Or it's that time when, I remember when I was in primary school, we used to be told, girls, kujeni, tuna meet dining hall, and then the boys wanabaki, okay, kwani nini inaendelea? So are you also bringing in the boys and the gentlemen into these conversations when you're talking to the girls?
My favorite part is talking to the boys. When I go to school, I would like to have like 20 minutes just to talk with the boys about this.
Yeah.
So that when I'm talking now to the girls, they already know what I'm going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a lot of support from boys, more than I get from girls. Because they are like, what?
This is what happens.
That is what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was growing up, when I was a boy, I used to laugh at girls. I would feel fun about them messing up their clothes. How can I make it right? Like, how can I make it not uncomfortable for them? So I would love talking to boys. And if the culture is not an issue, I would love for them to have a conversation with both girls and boys. Yeah. But if there is cultural issue, I'll talk to boys first, and then now I'll talk to girls.
To the girls,
yes,
separately. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is something that I think we totally need as a society to overhaul this conversation. It's not a girls thing only. As we've been saying since we started this topic this whole month, menstruation is not a girls issue. It is not just a girls issue. It affects all pillars of the society. We have conversation. We have comments and feedback from a lot of our fans. I can see Clady 254, Sunny Albani. Thank you, Clady. Thank you so much. Beatrice is saying amazing conversation. Caroline is also saying great conversation. There's also a question, I think a comment. Caroline is saying, we are living in a sad world where our ladies have problems talking to people close to them on issues about menstruation, the sad reality. When we tie this conversation to what Caroline is saying, you have seen girls transacting sex for, pads. What was your first thoughts about what is happening out there?
What is happening outside there, it is very sad. Like, our girls have to exchange their body with people even who are very ugly, very old, just to get that money so that they can buy pad.
Yeah.
I think it is a high time, like the government and everything, they should put pads, like even the disposable pads everywhere, like where I want to have sex, the condom is just there.
Yeah.
I've just started my menstruation. I wasn't expecting it. I have to go through the challenge.
Yeah.
So I think it is very sad. And we need to create awareness that menstruation is not shame. And we need to work this together so that we can see the change we want to see, the girls we want to see in school. It has to begin with us.
Do you think we have failed these girls as a society, as parents, as aunties, uncles, fathers? Do you think we have failed to play our role?
Yes,
Yeah.
we have failed in a big way.
Yeah.
I look back and think, like, when I was growing up and this was happening to me, didn't I have aunties? Did I have parents? And why did they even allow me to go through this? I started doing prostitution when I was only 13 years so that I could get a pad.
Pads, yeah.
We have failed as parents. I know of one of the girls who got infected by HIV because a man was giving her money, knowing very well that he was HIV positive. And he was doing that. And in exchange, what did he want? So as parents, we need to stop thinking like talking about menstruation, it is a taboo.
Yeah.
It is a high time we need to put our children on the table and say menstruation is real. And if you start your menstruation, just come and say, Daddy, I need money, I need to buy something.
Yeah.
I need to buy a pad. Or even our parents, they need to give money and say, like, I know you have your budget.
Yeah.
Take these 1,000 shillings, go and budget for whatever you need. We have failed.
We have failed.
Yes.
And I think this is something that we need to embrace. This we stop having that shaming because of menstruation. It's like that is long gone. That is something that is long gone. It's not in our generation. It's something that our generation should not still be having a conversation about. Going back to your comments, guys, thank you so much for everyone. Kuza Arts and Asama Show Equalite, thank you so much. Caroline is saying, great job, Christine, in keeping girls in school. Felix is saying, wow, very tragic story. I think he's talking about your story when we started the show, this conversation, I mean. Ian is saying, wow, what a story. Michael is also saying, what a story from what Christine went through, sad. What are some of the stories she's heard girls are going through today? Like, I think the same way you shared your story, what kind of stories have you heard from girls, the girls that you talk to, the girls that you're mentoring?
The stories are very sad. Like, you just hear what girls are going through when they don't have something to manage their period. It is very sad. Some of them, they'll tell you, like, a sugar daddy will come. They are very ugly, but they just have to take that money because this sugar daddy knows that this girl needs this money to buy the pads. And they just have to give in because they don't have any other thing. If you talk to the girls, they tell you the most thing that they worry about is that what is going to happen when I'm sitting down and I'm in the church and then I stand up and my cloth is messed. What is going to happen to me when I stand up, I'm in class and my cloth is soiled? That is what worries them. They don't even worry about their grades. But when they have something nice to manage their period, that is not their worry. Some of them, they tell you whatever they are going through just because of getting money to buy the pads. It is really bad. And the picky guys, they are not even ashamed. They are taking advantage of this because once the girl has reached the age of puberty, that is their area of, like, they know they'll get sex. So that is not good. The stories are just sad.
So sad. So sad that girls we're in 2021, guys. We shouldn't even be having this conversation. As in, it's such a sad story. Sad that these are things that are happening out there and we have, chosen to look at other things, politics and, and we are playing, I think, with so many girls' lives. Michael is saying many girls cannot afford the 90 shillings for the reusable pads. Don't you think that 1K is on the higher side? I think he's talking about the kits that you've talked about.
I know once they look at it in the first time, they think 1,000 is a lot. But do the maths, like 80 per month, and one kit is not enough. And this is 1,000, and it is for 3 to 4 years. And then mostly it's like, when I say that, it's like sometimes, like you can find a group of 20 men who are willing to support 20 girls. And they fundraise and they reach that amount. Yeah. And they are like, once we give these 20 girls, we know that for 3 years, they are sorted. And then we are now fundraising for another. So it is an initiative that we as Kenyan, both men and boys, like we need to start clubs where can we fundraise 200. Yeah. At the end of the month, we are going to empower, even if it is just one girl. You have made a change in her life. Yeah. And we say it is every girl, everywhere, period. And every girl that you give, even if it is one, you have really get her out of the way. Yeah. You are looking for another girl to empower.
Yeah. And this is something that happens every month, so it's not going to waste anyway. Caroline is saying, what about the girls who are unable to afford the kit but will still love to be in school? What happens to them?
So sometimes I get sponsors. It's not that I'm asking the girls to buy. What I do is I'm asking you to donate to this girl. I've gone to this school, I've identified the needs, I've identified the girls who have the need, and I go look for somebody to buy a kit for this girl. So for mine, it will just be to show up to the school and give this girl the kit. So it's not the girl mostly who are buying. But when we have like parents meeting, that is when I go to the school and I ask them to go and talk to the parents. Like if you're not buying your daughter the pad, do you know who is doing it? A boy somewhere is taking advantage of buying the pad for the girl. And you as a parent, what are you doing? So it is a high time we as parents realize that our girl has started menstruation and who is buying them the pad. So it's like the parents, they need to buy it for the kid. Because if you as a parent, you just take the kid to the girl and say like, from today, 3 years, don't ask me for the pad. But I have to go and tell her the reason why she needs this kit. So sometimes we get to talk to sponsors and then they raise money and then we buy and take it to the school for the girls.
Hey, amazing, amazing things that you are doing, amazing stuff that you're doing with Days for Girls. And we hope that we can get as many sponsors coming in to help donate, because a lot of girls are in need and we need to stop this practice of transactional sex, because I mean, those girls, they're too young to be exposed to STIs, to HIV, and missing school because they can't do ABC, or even carry out various activities because they're on their period. It's just unfair. And all the best. All the best. I think you have done an amazing job. You have used your pain to alleviate a lot of pain from so many other girls who probably will have landed in where you are, in the situation that you are, but you have chosen to empower them, to educate them, and we just continue praying that this is a conversation that continues to be had every day, to destigmatize that taboo disappears, because once it goes, I think these conversations will be things of the past, Mm-hmm. We have one last question before I let you go. Michael is asking, do you think the government is doing enough on this issue? On menstrual health, I think, yeah.
I think the government is doing their part. I'm doing my part. Because before they reach that girl, maybe I've already reached her. Or before I reach her, the government has reached her. So we are just like partners. And I think they are doing their part, and I'm doing my part. It's only that they are doing disposable, I'm doing washable. So the challenges that I've found with the disposable, there is a place where the government takes it, and this girl cannot afford another pad. So they want to rewash the disposable one, and then they end up getting a lot of infections.
Yeah.
So the government is doing their part still,
mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, girls, you can't rewash the disposable ones. Those they'll get you have 1,000,001 infections. So if you want to have something that you can always reuse, go the reusable way, because I mean you've told us they have a span life of 3 to 4 years. Yeah. But thank you so much, Christine. Thank you for all that you're doing, and we thank you even for honoring our invite to come to East Squared. Your insights have just been invaluable to us, and we have learned a lot. We have really learned a lot. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right.